Okay, we are now recording.
Ooh, we're now recording.
That we are. I don't know why you tried to put on your sultry voice just now.
I'm not putting on my sultry voice. This is my nighttime voice.
Nighttime voice. You do tend to be sleepy around this time.
This is why we record on Sundays during the day. But I will be traveling for the next 2 weeks. So we're recording in the night again.
Kitten goes on her big journey.
Ooh, sure.
But now I'm glad we were able to get this done today because Sunday, yeah, it might have been a struggle because I'll be coming back from Houston.
Yeah. Where are you going?
Going to the Houston Urban Kinksters Kinky Game Night.
Oh, fun. I love a game night.
Yeah, I went from like a private event to a more like open event for people that are a part of the Houston Urban Kinksters. Yeah, it was supposed to happen in June, but it got pushed back, and so here we are, and hopefully be a great time.
It's a hell of a push.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but all I know is we are here. So,
Well, that's good. I think that there needs to be more vanilla style events for Kingsters, especially for people who want to learn. I miss Munches, that's for sure.
I mean, you're in the upper area where munches happen like every other day, though.
Not necessarily. There used to be more Munches than there are now.
Because I will say, as far as what, because TJ, he's the one that helped actually get the thing rolling, where Houston Urban Kingsters hosts
Mhm.
like a monthly munch.
Yeah,
So I
that's
think
cool.
it really does come down to it. If it's not there already, you got to build it yourself.
Come on now.
You got enough going on. You don't need to build nothing.
Right. It's okay. I am possibly relocating. I'm like 85% sure I'll be relocating in September. And I think that I will find more munches in the DMV area.
Oh, most definitely. And if anything, you're actually building something now because this is another episode of the Big Letter Little Letter podcast with your host Hedo.
And me, Jam.
See, that transition was so damn smooth. And speaking of transitions being smooth, make sure you just smoothly go on over to like, subscribe, and share this lovely podcast with anyone that you find may be interested in kind of kinky endeavors.
Yeah, we live a little bit of Kink 101 being spread around the world.
I mean, look, we already did to like 100 people at BlurCon, so.
We did. And I'm still reeling. Someone asked me what drives me the other day. And I thought to how, when I posted the recap on my IG, somebody was like, I was there. I learned so much. And that just warms my heart. Like, I love when people learn from me or can experience pleasure with me. Like, those are my favorite things.
See, all I know is there was someone that night that got a spanking and was like, you know what? Shout out to the Polysexy Cool panel. They helped make this night happen.
Yes, it was good stuff. No, I love it.
Cause now,
Hopefully more.
TJ did bring up to me where he kind of want to see if next year about hosting a play party around the BlurCon time. So
Oh boy.
we'll see. Like even now, I'm like, oh, will I make it? But we'll see.
I mean, I'm not gonna hold you. So next year's theme is thriller, and I'm not a scary girl. You know, I'm just a baby. Okay, I watch my slice of life. But I was like, I don't know, maybe we dive into like King 301 and start talking about some sharps and other scary things.
I mean, I love a good theme. So
Right?
and it'll be so much more cooler in regards to temperature since it'll be in March. But we'll
Yes.
see. I mean, it's a fun idea. Things will can't always have everything in concrete because I do want to do this like mentorship course thing. Well, I'm moving to Houston, so we'll see if I can even do that because driving to Temple every Saturday from Houston will be a pain in my ass.
How long is the drive?
I have no idea, but I'm assuming it's gonna be around like the 3.5, 4 hour mark.
Lord, you can't do that. Don't do that.
Now it's only one Saturday a month for 12 months, except for I think couple of months there'll be two times you go. I'll
I'm
I'll look I'll look at it in November because they touch on things I want to do like fire play
mm-hmm.
as well as like dungeon monitor, like you get certified and all that. So that's something that I actually do want under my belt. But that's a future Ike problem. Present Ike right now is just focused on this move to Houston, among other things.
It could be fun. We're trying to get big in 2025. We already set the goal in the last episode. I'm sticking to it. You know, once something is in my head, it's happening.
Yeah, she knows how to push certain buttons to get whatever she desires.
Sure do, don't I?
As far as your Kinkly Weekly, what's been going on with you?
You know, I've just been really focusing on one, moving, and two, I'm in the midst of vetting a dom. So that's been a lot of my time lately.
Okay. And of course, you said it. You're about to be out from your house for like a couple weeks, so.
And yeah, well, I am gonna go visit said this weekend just to see if I like the area. And then I have my cousin's wedding in Jamaica, so a fun little turnaround within the next 2 weeks. But hopefully I'll get some time to relax, reset. I've been unemployed since June, and I just want to like make sure the goals that I set for myself are still happening.
Of course. And you know, I'm rooting for you on this side.
Of course, because I've been hounding you about your goals.
To which they will be achieved as of this week, at least one of them.
One of them, yes. Don't worry, I will come down and we'll work on the swimming thing.
Look, I am 6 foot four,
Mm,
358
just
pounds, and
listen.
I sink like a rock. That is what I am.
No, everybody can float.
All right. Well, when you get down here, we'll go ahead and give it the good old kinky try.
I'm real determined.
I believe it. I don't. I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying
Yeah.
it is what it is. You know, you're a full short stack trying to deal with Mount Everest over here. But hey, I'm gonna believe in you believing in me.
In the water, it doesn't matter.
You say that now. Wait until you get in the water. Then we'll see if you'll sink with me.
I
Well,
will, and
you
I
won't
will
drown
not.
because I'll just stand up. But all
We're gonna
right,
make it work.
now
Listen, I'm setting my intentions.
and I like I said, rooting for you on this side. Now, as for me, not too much has been going on. Been honestly just trying to get ready for this move to Houston. Right now, we are in like the because in Texas, you got to give a 60-day notice before you move.
60 days.
Yep, you gotta give them a 2 month notice. Otherwise, they can charge you for the following month because you are automatically switched from month to month.
What the dick?
But that's also the reason why we have to wait until this time period before we apartment hunt because some apartments don't know who's staying and who's moving to like offer saying, "Hey, live here."
Dang, that's hella exhausting.
I
I don't.
mean, it's not too bad because that means we're gonna find a place. Like this isn't the same as like a New York where like 700 people are going after the same one bedroom. Like I can literally find a place tomorrow. I literally am looking. It's like, oh, releasing now. I could
Mm,
literally find that tomorrow here. So like finding the place won't be an issue, but finding the right place would be because you see, like I don't know if you have it up there, but down here, they'll say something like, "Hey, give us a 5 star review, and you know, give us a 5 star, and yada yada
of
yada."
course,
And
especially the newer buildings.
yeah, and so it's kind of like how you just gotta like scour and find, okay, what's this place like? All right, where's this place located? Oh, what's going on in this area? Because you might end up in a place that has a very shitty housing, but you don't know because once you sign that lease, it is a wrap until the lease is up.
Yeah. Are you taking trips to Houston to like look around, or do you already have a good idea of areas?
So one of my partners, you already know Jazz. They might know her. I don't know. We talk about a lot of shit on this podcast. But yeah, we'll be going to Houston together for the game night, and we're gonna go check out one place on Saturday.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and see what that looks like. Fingers crossed, because it has almost everything I want. The problem is, one of the places has everything, but it's like $150 over what I want for like the
Mm.
monthly. And the other place, it's right where I want it budget wise, but it is on the third floor. And I don't want to do the third floor again.
Third floor walk up.
Yeah, I think I really feel like the like setup in Texas is, as long as it's three, if it's 3 stories, you don't need to put an elevator. I really
Mm,
think that's the rule, because I do deliveries on the side to pay for shenanigans,
yeah, no.
and the deliveries I make, I can see like, oh, it has 4 stories, there's an elevator, but everywhere else, 3 stories, nope, you're walking up all those stairs.
Mm-mm. No, thank you. That is a game that I do not play in an elevator.
And again, I'm living it now. It's a way to force a little bit of a workout whenever you leave the house.
Nope.
My issue is the moving.
Nope.
We got to move our stuff 3 stories down and
Nope.
3 stories up.
Absolutely not. I'm already hard knowing that because it's not just that. Like, is there laundry in the apartment?
Yeah,
Well, that's helpful because I'm like groceries, laundry. Anytime you want to buy something big, like you're hauling ass up 3 flights of stairs.
that's the annoying part of it all. Like I can't get, but then also on the side, like because you can get groceries delivered. I purposely am like, I'm tipping you 20. Like it's like
Why are you doing that?
if I'm ordering groceries, because I could be a dick like, oh, here's $5, but in my head I'm like, you here's 20. Like if I can't, like, now some people will go to a restaurant, have all the service, and leave a shitty tip.
Yeah.
I'm not that person. Like if I'm going and you're going above and beyond, like, yeah, I'm giving you, not, oh, here's money. You did your thing. You walked up 3 stories with 15
Yeah.
bags,
And like if someone's hauling that kind, like absolutely.
but the place is so good. It has everything, and I'm like, ugh.
Your choice to make, buddy.
No, I most likely would try to find somewhere else, because, like, for the foreseeable future, I am the person that is handling the bills and stuff.
Yeah.
Until, either Jasmine gets like another gig or gets a job in Houston, something to that nature. So yeah, that's the fun that I'm dealing with right now.
Well, I mean, that just means you got to find a place that you can cover by yourself.
Yep,
And then when you can get help, it'll be that much lighter on your load.
that's the reason why the budget is the budget.
But anyway, since we're on the discussion of what couples do, how partners work shit out, we might as well talk about our topic.
The topic that you threw to me today, where I was like, she
I
hit me
did.
with something that I knew nothing about, and that actually like caught me off guard.
Shit's getting personal. Listen, we told you there was a podcast about us learning shit and you learning with us. We're learning today.
And yeah, today, as you see from the episode title, P is for petition.
Mm-hmm.
And again, she was like, petition. It's like, you want to talk about petition? And in my head, I'm like, I mean, it's an election year, but what are we petitioning?
No, it's an election year.
Like I really had no idea what she was going on about. And then she was like, yeah, it's like you bring it to your dominant to like
Mhm.
convince them like to take you on as a sub. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I really have never heard of this.
Shit's getting personal, okay? I told y'all that I am in the midst of vetting a dom, and it is my first like official tissue dynamic that I'm looking into. So we've been discussing things since whenever the heck I went to Dom Week in like May. May we've been having discussions. This is vetting. This is light negotiation. This is do our kinks line up? This is do we even like each other as normal people? All of that's happening. So now that things are getting a little bit more serious, somebody gave the Dom that I'm vetting the idea of a petition, and I was like, well, goddamn, have I not already expressed interest? But anyway, a petition essentially is like your resume and cover letter as a submissive that you're submitting to the Dom of which you're entertaining. In about this time, after you've had many discussions about whether you even like each other, whether your kinks are aligning, once you get to the part where you're like, all right, I think I want this to be a thing, that's around when some people will ask for a petition. And I say some because clearly not everybody knows about petition. And also, petitions are not mandatory, they're just a protocol thing.
And yes, as far as it being about protocol and etiquette, because when you go into the side of BDSM, that's the primary crux of it all, where it's about protocol and etiquette. What level of protocol may vary from person to person, because your dynamic is your dynamic. Protocol helps keep the dynamics clean and like up to bar. And in this situation, in regards to a petition, they can be oral or written down. And I guess
Mhm.
that will kind of depend on the person that is requesting the petition. Because I feel like even though I didn't know there was a word for it, there was always a status in order for it to get to the point of it being like, you know, a sort of petition, like someone coming up to you, hey, I would like to be your sub. That's the start of it, at least orally. I just, again, never knew it was just called a petition.
Yeah. It's a formality because, like, of course, if someone comes up to you, they're like, I'm a submissive. This is the kind of submissive I am. These are the things that I like to do. These are the things that I would like to do with you. That's technically a petition.
Yeah. And yeah, I just really never knew there was a word for it. So I am thankful for today's episode, because now if it gets thrown at me out the blue, I know what it is.
Exactly.
Now to dive a little bit deeper in regards to this, because look, I am not a nigga that's gonna just talk purely out my ass. I'm gonna at least look up so I can know a little something something.
You did the things that we tell them to do.
Of course, because you know, do as I say and I do, but not all the times, because I be doing some wild shit that y'all ain't ready for. But in this situation, I was doing some quick looking intos, because I ain't gonna say research. I have friends with PhDs. I did not do
You
research.
did research. Research is research.
Shit, tell them that. But I did look into it, and I did learn that the primary crux of this form of protocol is more so in the MS dynamic, master slave or Kajira if you're nasty. And that was the overall protocol for a master slave dynamic, because again, a master, I say this all the time, the person with all the power within the dynamic is the person that's on the bottom. It's the person that is submitting. It's the submissive. It's the slave. It's the robunny. It's because they are providing consent prior to whatever it is that y'all agree to do. Same thing is true in the MS dynamic. The only difference between an MS dynamic and the other dynamics is that there is a level of power exchange that is on the severe side of things, to where certain things that a submissive may object to and clearly can object to is different from what the slave can object to, as long as it's within the agreement. So,
I mean,
huh?
right. Sorry to interrupt. I was just in my head like, I've been talking to my siblings a lot about anticipatory service. And I feel like when you get into master slave dynamics, the one who's assuming the role of master is working as anticipatory, like topping, or like as an anticipatory master, because yes, there is a level of negotiation and consent conversations, things like that, but essentially they're making all the decisions for you, but they also need to get to know you well enough that they can tell when you've had enough, when you need something different. But anyway, that's not today's discussion.
Maybe another time. But as far as it comes with the petition and what I was saying in regards to how a master slave dynamic is unique in the sense of its severity, there's a reason why a petition must be brought upon, because the master is taking on a high level of responsibility, and you have to convince that person why they should bother.
Yeah.
Now,
So we did look at an excerpt from, what's the name of that book? Becoming a Slave.
by Jack Ranella.
And it did have an example of a petition.
Now, real
And
quick, just want to go ahead and say we have no idea who this man Jack Ranella is.
we don't.
I don't know if he has been up to some fuckery and shenanigans, whether it be bigotry or one of the isms.
Right.
No idea what this gentleman means in regards to, like, oh wow, he was in jail for X, Y, and Z. We don't know who this nigga is.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just sharing some knowledge that this person may have, because he might be the saint of St. Louis, or he could be the devils of Hell Kitchen. I don't know, but we're just simply sharing his words because they've had a very like heavy impact in the BDSM community.
Yeah. So how about you tell the people what are some things that are included, and then we'll give some of this sample.
Okay, because like right now I'm looking at I was able to locate from this website. I have no idea what Brave and Manor is, but there's an excerpt, the Slave Petition, a sample from Patrick. And so essentially it's just focusing on three elements when it comes to a petition. Now, again, slave petition, it could be simply drawn as either a slave petition, a letter of petition, or just petition. I got that from the BDSMwiki.info page. But there are three main things that should be conveyed, no matter what words you use, no matter how long or short, whether you write it down, type it up, or use spoke signals. Is you want to let them know what you want, why you want it, what will you do and give to get what you want.
That last one is interesting. I feel like I want to talk about it more because um, I don't need any of you. What do you bring to the table? Try not to use the word, but friends, to be all up in here like, yeah, what will you bring to the table? Absolutely not. Sit down. What we're talking about is, what skills do you possess that can benefit the person that you are petitioning? So if you, I mean, master slave is like a big, broad one, but let's say you're petitioning
Oh,
somebody.
real quick. Even it's called a slave petition, letter petition, petition, sure. We co-op things every day. So using a petition is not limited to an MS dynamic. A
Yes.
petition can be used for a rope top, rope bottom dynamic. It can be used for dom sub. It can be used for any kind of power exchange. It's just that the initial birth of it was within a master slave dynamic. So that's the reason why you will hear us constantly talk about MS. But please understand, a petition can honestly be used across the board.
Right. When we get into the personals, I'll let you know like how a petition is working out for me. But a good example would be like if you are petitioning a dominant who really likes service, then in your petition you would include what kind of service you're good at. Are you good at tea service, cigar service, anticipatory service, cooking, like all of those things, your basic skills that you have to offer someone? That's what you would include um, as things that would benefit that person. You don't want to go to somebody who is looking for a service sub and be like, I'm a kitten. I'll roll around on the floor. I want pets. Like, no, I'm not looking for that. Okay. So, like, the same way you would write a specific cover letter for a job is the same way you would write a specific petition for the dom that you are petitioning.
And I feel like this level, like you don't just bring a petition off the rip. Like this is after vetting. This is after the getting to
Right.
know a person.
Absolutely.
So like of course if you vet the dom and see that they provide something that you do not care for, then yeah, that shows why you're writing a petition for something that you don't need. That's like going to the store to buy a whole bunch of milk while you're lactose intolerant and don't take a lactate.
What do you know about that?
I have a partner that's lactose intolerant.
Do you?
Yes, yes, I do. Now, I would also like to say, in regards to the what you will give and do to get what you want portion, it does vary. It's really a part of that negotiation level.
Mm,
It's like essentially you're negotiating with yourself and what you're willing to give because they don't. Again, you're petitioning them. They didn't come to you and say, "All right, what you're gonna do." You are literally coming up. These are my skills and credentials. And so that can also expand to just simply, oh, I see that you make these extra rope. I am very flexible, or I have a high
mhm.
pain tolerance. Like it could be just simply more than, you know, just
I mean, she did, but that's my story, not everybody else's.
this woman. But no, it really does come down to if you are seeking out this person, truly suss out what it is that you can provide. Because, for example, if you know this person to be a sadist and you are a pain slut, guess what's gonna help you in that petition?
Right.
Oh, I love receiving pain. The more pain, the better. I know my limits and I know when to like that would help you in your petition to get this sadist to beat your ass.
You know, I'm actually starting to really like this idea of petition because so many people just want to enter into dynamics without even thinking about what they're into. And I'm like, no, you can't just be like, don't you want to be my dom? I'm brand new. I don't know anything. Like, absolutely not. Sit down.
Because I like, even for me, I am a dominant, but I do not have subs as of present because I don't feel I'm not. I'm
Because I'm too far away.
She is too far away, but also I'm not Ash Ketchum. I'm not out here trying to be like, hey, Pokeball Go, you're my sub. No, like I am treating this as you would treat a standard vanilla relationship. Like you're not. I'm not just out here fiending for like, oh my god, I got to get someone so that way they can. No, I feel
Yeah.
like it's like that mutual thing where okay, this is what you do. This is what I like. You could do this to me. Let's see how the vibes are. You know, I feel like certain fake doms misunderstand the concept of a dom because there's a difference from a dom and a top. Now I could like I'm a top. I do these various things. Don't care for protocol. That's one thing. Versus, no, I care for protocol. I care for the level of like. I'm not gonna just come up to someone random and be like, "I want to collar you."
Right. I mean, technically, so because we're talking about how petitions can be used, when you go to events and you're demoing, you're doing pickup play, when people come up to you, they are petitioning you.
Disagree.
Why?
Because I feel like in moments of pickup play, that's more transactional.
Still, but it's still a transition. So essentially, the idea is still there where somebody's coming up to you, they're saying what interested them, and they're asking you for something specific.
But that's the thing. If anything, if we're going to go based off of the sample from Patrick, the only element that I'm getting is number one. I'm not getting two or three. Like
We're not.
all they're telling me is, all right, what do they want?
Okay, first of all, you're being a real killjoy about the fact that you can make kink what it is. So we're not going to go all the way by Patrick's sample because I don't even like number three. So we're going for one and two, which is what you want and
Even,
why you want it.
but even with one or two, I don't need to care about why they want it. If it's a pickup play situation, I just need to know what they want, and then I go ahead and express it.
You know, just because you're not accepting real petitions from people doesn't mean it's not happening. Okay. I know plenty of people who come up to you and tell you what they want and why you want it. And it could be as simple as I saw you flogging from across the room and it looked interesting.
Yeah, but that's more so the they. But I guess I'm thinking more in the sense of, because you see me, I be working with like I can have what was that last Kingston Drinks? I had like 25 different
Yeah.
scenes.
Was that your best night?
I think that
Did
was the
you need
most.
somebody to be in the room with you saying, "Hey, why don't you take a break?"
Sadly, those rooms were small.
So we're not gonna be, you know what? Later, okay? The people of the pod don't need to hear this.
Look, this is why she's on my side. This is why I keep her around. She keeps me honest.
It's a good idea for you to have some knowledge, even when you go into pick up play. What you want, why you want it. You may not have anything to offer. We're not really asking you for anything to offer in pick up play, but a good what you want and why you want it would be good things to tell the person that you're doing pick up play with.
All right. And well, since you got beef with Patrick, how about we swing over to the submissive guide real quick?
Sure.
All right, because there was a portion I was reading in regards to what do I put in the petition, and where she kind of broke it down into state how you desire to exist in the master's life,
Mm-hmm.
highlight some of your strengths, openly discuss what you currently perceive as your limits, or even your Achilles heel or two.
Mm-hmm.
What are you willing to give of yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Why the petition? Why him?
See, I this is why we rock with the submissive guide often because I like that list better than Patrick's list.
But Patrick kind of, touched on all of these in just three.
Sure, whatever. I
Because
like the submissive guide better.
is
I
it
think I
because
like it
it's
better because it it gets more specific and I feel like Patrick's are too broad. Like I want you to be able to highlight your strengths. Like really talk about the things you're good at. Don't just go listing stuff that you're interested in but you don't even know how to do yet. Because if you're telling somebody you're good at like cigar service and then they're like, okay, yes, and now they're presenting you with a cigar and you don't even know how to cut it, there's a problem.
but all right, I guess that would make sense. You have issue with this the lack of tongue tie specificity.
Specificity.
You
Yes,
have a problem with the specifics. There we
I
go.
do. I
See,
am.
this is the problem when you have a tongue that's bigger than your mouth. You tend to mess up on certain words.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yes, I like that it says highlight your strengths and then openly discuss what you perceive as your limits. So something on that is that I'm a in a lot of my life when it comes to kink and sex, um, I might have some limits right here and now as I discuss this with you all that I will not have in the moment. Those are your soft limits. Because it's kind of like, I'm on the rocks about this, but if I like you, then I might do it. I might get a little freaky. So, like, discussing what you perceive as your limits, your Achilles heel or two, which is kind of like, I think I talked about this before, or maybe I've just been talking about it in scenes, but I have a thing where when people are topping me, I got a fat ass, and they get really comfortable and in the groove of things. They like to rest their hand like at the top of my ass, but it's my tailbone, and that shit hurts. So I always have to be like, do not rest your arm, your hand, especially the heel of your hand, on my tailbone. It hurts. I know it looks like a table. It's not.
It'd be holding
Those are
cups
some
though.
things we'd include.
Which, yeah, that all perfectly like makes sense because the honestly, when it comes to tops, dominance, masters, etc., We need the information. We need the knowledge. We need to know these things in order for us to do what we do best. Because if we didn't have that information of don't put your hand there, guess what's going to happen? Someone might think, all right, I want to stabilize her as I do this spanking, not
Right.
realizing hand on tailbone. And then, it will. The one thing, like personally, and I hope every single top dominant, etc., share the same sentiment. The last thing we want is the scene to be interrupted.
Right.
Like, we want the scene to go as smoothly as possible because that means we get to do what we do best. So, if for instance we didn't have the information, hand on tailbone, and we don't know what happened, the scene gets interrupted. We have to go into full, like, all right, semi paramedic mode. What's going on here? What's wrong? What's happening? We're at red. What's
Right.
aftercare? Like, it ends the scene prematurely because that information was missing, which could have been provided in said petition.
And your
Though
petition.
the petty in me will also go ahead and throw in there. The submissive guy did say, "What are you willing to give of yourself?" Which is the same as what are you. Patrick said on question number
No, it's
3.
not. No, it's not. It's not. Because
Saying what will you, what
what
you
will
will
you
get,
give and do to get what you want is not the same as
what are you
saying,
willing to
what are
give
you
of
willing to
yourself?
give of yourself?
Look, tomatoes, tomatoes, potato,
No,
potato.
not tomatoes, tomatoes. Because, see, and I was just about to bring that up because when we're talking about what you're willing to give of yourself, it doesn't mean that you have to list everything. Like, I could be like, for you, I am willing to give you control over my social life, my bank account, but I am not willing to give you control over my job decisions or my food decisions. Like what I'm actually willing to give to you.
Of yourself.
Get off of this podcast. I'll do it by myself.
You wish. But yeah, that's just pretty much our journey into learning about petition. I'm positive that once Persian has a certain update in regards to her journey with the petition, she'll be able to share, her own personal practice, her own personal looks at it, because it's as the subby kitten, that's just a baby. I'm just a girl that's over here. I'm certain that's going to be quite the experience.
I mean, yeah, I'm working on it. My favorite form of presenting things is Canva presentation. I love to make some slides, and I've actually been presenting a lot of things to her in this way, and she likes it. And she tells me I'm cute every time, so it really drives things home.
See, personally, I kind of want to, like, if I ever find time, I want to go ahead and study a little bit of calligraphy because I have all these wax seals.
Stop! I love wax seal.
Like, I have a Hufflepuff wax seal and I have a wax seal with the letter I and N because a friend of mine was like, here you go. I was like, this is dope. I haven't been able to use it because I don't have letters to send via
Because you
Falcon.
haven't written me a letter. I don't understand why. I love receiving letters.
I need to go ahead and get like a calligraphy thing where I can dip the pen in the ink and.
Okay, but you could just send me a regular letter and seal it with wax.
Okay, I can do that.
Good.
All right, we'll just go ahead and wrap it up there. We already know the same old, same old. Be sure to follow the podcast on Instagram, big letter, little letter. Go ahead and send a message. And hell, if you're cool enough, then maybe Jen will let you add her as a friend. Most likely
Maybe.
not because some people be on that bullshit.
It's too much. I told you I've reached my capacity for strangers. So just go on ahead and follow our IG for the pod.
And yeah, if you have any questions or thoughts or questions, feel free to send an email to bigletterlittlepod@gmail.com.
Is there any
You,
questions?
I did create the big letter pod for Twitter because I'm not going to call it a single letter because I saved that letter for all my adult entertainment. And you can follow me, Sir.Hedo on IG, Sir_Hedo on Twitter, on Snap. I actually started using my Snap more to like send my like videos because
Oh.
Facebook be hating. They banned me from commenting on groups for 24 hours because of that one impact scene where there were like
Yeah.
fingers in between.
I was wondering about that. I saw you posted that and I was like, look at you trying to get away with stuff.
Look, there was no cooch showing. There was no cooch showing. It was blocked.
She was fingering herself. And
The cooch was blocked. You can see a coochie.
and she tasted it. It was actively porn. You posted porn.
Wow, you're on the side of the ops. Ain't that about a bitch?
She tasted it. It was actively porn.
Yo, we're going to go ahead and catch y'all next time. Be sure y'all stay safe and enjoy the kinks out in the world.
Stay kinky and safe.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.